the one thing that I've noticed is how the current musicians, how they always know where they came from. They always reach back to the old-timey, the folks like Uncle Dave. And so it is my pleasure to introduce a few folks that are going to come up and talk about what Uncle Dave meant to them, or means to them, if you will. And so I'd like to introduce the band Flat Lonesome, who is 2014 International Bluegrass Association's Emerging Artist winner, and also Danny Roberts from the Grascals. You've probably heard of them, a multi-Grammy nominating band. Please welcome Lonesome Flat and Danny Roberts. Where you at?
But thank you guys for having us. We're excited to be here. We have lived in Murfreesboro. Well, Michael was raised here, but most of us moved here about 3 years ago when we decided to pursue living in bluegrass music. But we've enjoyed it, and we love the town. We love the state of Tennessee, and we've been to Uncle Dave Macon Days. Michael will talk to you just a little bit about what that's meant to him as far as attending Uncle Dave Macon Days and actually competing in the competitions before Flat Lonesome started. But we were asked to come and just talk a little bit about Uncle Dave and what he's meant. We wanted to talk about what he's meant to us as far as Flat Lonesome as a band. And things started pretty quickly for us. We started as a family band. My brother and sister are here. Charlie over here on the right, on your left, plays fiddle, and my brother plays guitar. And the three of us started out as a family band, playing and singing with our mom and dad in a group called Sandy Creek Revival. And our dad's a pastor, and we got a little bit busier than he could be, so we kicked him to the curb and started a bluegrass band of our own. And so that started, we started Flat Lonesome 4 or 5 years ago now, and everything's escalated very quickly, and we've been very blessed to be able to travel and play music. And one of the biggest things for us has been to be a part of the Grand Ole Opry and WSM, and be able to call the people their friends. And so people, like Bill Cody and Miss Marcia, who's here with us today. And so I know that in, I think December it was, but I know in 1925, Uncle Dave, that was his very first appearance on WSM. On the radio station. So that was a huge deal for us. I remember the first time we were on there with Bill Cody and being able to play on WSM. I mean, that's what you think of alongside the Grand Ole Opry, is that radio station, and being able to play on there, and just it's an interview. It's a serious thing for us to do, but it's an interview in a time that we get to go in and just have fun. We play our music and just talk about goodness knows what. With Miss Marcia, the last time we were on there was midnight, so we get a little crazy after like 8. But we always have a great time, and so that's one of the biggest things for us as a band, to be able to relate all of that back almost 100 years to Uncle Dave, and know that in a way, we can look back and say, okay, he did have a huge part of us. As the oldest person in our band is 25, and for us to know that he was on WSM before our parents were born, and probably the same time as our grandparents were listening to that music. And our grandparents on my dad's side were huge influences in country music for us, and it was a dream of my grandmother's to be on the Opry. She never was able to do that, but she's been able to watch her grandkids play on the Opry, which she claims is even better, but I'm not sure if I believe that or not. Yeah, Michael wanted to go ahead and talk just a little bit about how he's been involved in Uncle Dave Macon Days, and kind of what that's done for him.
Well, as Kelsey said, I grew up here in Murfreesboro, and as a young musician, Uncle Dave Macon Days was invaluable as a place to really hone my skills on a stage, with other people close to my age, with people that have been in the music industry a lot longer than I have, experts in the field, like Mr. Rob here. I've played with him on stage and played, I don't know if you want to say against him in competitions, but we've together against each other in the competition. Always beat me. Sorry, dog. But it's just, it's a great thing. You know, it's a really good thing to have for kids, especially in the area. And kids of all ages, really. You know, it doesn't matter how old you are. If you're, you know, competing in the competitions, it's a really good thing. And it was a great place where I met a lot of friends that I'm still friends with today, and jamming off in the corners around the park. And, you know, it's just a really good thing. So it's meant a lot to me personally. I think that was Uncle Dave Making Days might have been the first time I ever played on stage outside of my church. So it was a really, really big step for me to play in front of people that weren't my parents and, you know, people that I went to church with my whole life. So it was a big step. So Uncle Dave has been huge for me. So anyways, thank you.
We're going to let, we call him Brother Danny because we know him from church, but Danny Roberts with the Grascals, he and Andrea Roberts have been our mentors and really our parents as far as music goes. So we will let him talk and let you know what Uncle Dave has meant to him. We just wanted to give you a little snippet of what we do as far as we know that Uncle Dave and much of his family is here today. So we wanted to kind of show you our aspect of family music and just sing a verse and a chorus or something for you, if that's all right. Could you give us an E? You don't mind? Yes, sir.
Once in a life you'll meet someone who gives to you the reason for that life and what some love can do. Now I'm on for troubled times with all I need. For I have you, my favorite memory. You gave me something time could never take from me. A light that guides me when life's dark and I can't see. When I'm cold, a hand to hold will comfort me. 'Cause you'll be there, my favorite memory. You'll always be my favorite memory.
One thing for sure, I won't be singing. No, I'm really excited to be able to be coming to Uncle Dave Day this year with my band, the Grascals. I moved to Rutherford County in 1982, I think it was, something like that. And I grew up actually going to competitions. I was probably the first one that Uncle Dave Day had, I think, well, they said 39 years ago. So I was close. I think I'm 38 now, but no. But anyway, I was fortunate enough that when I moved here from Kentucky in '82, opened a music store in Penny Plaza. There used to be a penny store right off the square, and me and my friend Fred Duggan had a music store there, and John and Dave, we used to pick all the time there and stuff. So Fred and I had a lot. We had involvement even with Uncle Dave Day. I remember when we had it on the square and stuff, and not only entered the competitions, I judged the thing. One year I was there standing backstage, and the fiddle player for the buck dancing was gone, and they came to me, and I never considered myself a fiddler, and they said, "Can you play for some buck dancers?" And I said, "Okay." I said, "I don't know many tunes," and they said, "Well, that's okay." So I get up there, and about 62 contestants later, after 62 times of me playing Sally Gooden, because that was the only tune I was confident enough to get up and play, I staggered off the stage, wore out. And, they would walk up to me and look at me and say, the dancers, they always come up and they'll say, "Hey, do this one about this beat," and whatever tune they mentioned, I'd say, "Okay," and I'd play Sally Gooden. I'm not too sure any of them knew the difference, but they all danced. So Uncle Dave Day has always meant so much to me. I entered the guitar competition, mandolin competition, singing competition there. We always said would get in everything we could and support it. It's such a great thing for kids and family. My daughter is now 14. She plays and sings, and the first singing competition she got in was Uncle Dave, and she happened to win first place at 8 years old here at the Uncle Dave thing. And so it's just it's such a great thing to be able to see kids. You don't have to worry about your family. People are there. They're watching out for you. And just to see that and carry it on, and just to be able to know that me now in my 50s looking down at these kids in their 20s and knowing that kids and 8 years old and below are looking at these kids in their 20s competing in these things, and I hope to see this thing go on and on and on forever. And I'm just honored to be a part of it and looking forward to being here this year.